The coach with 2 healthy running backs and no healthy scholarship running backs before?
No, I tell you what, that's the fun part of coaching. You just never know. You never know what you're going to have or who you're going to have at practice. So, but it's definitely been good, obviously to, get the guys out there who are healthy, getting a chance to coach some new guys. I've actually had to test myself as a position coach to find out drills and also ways to keep those guys healthy. So, that's part of spring. You never know who's going to be out there, but the guys that are out there are working hard.
Can you tell that Alvin and Jalen are taking a lot of mental reps? Can you tell that part of them is at least improving?
Absolutely. I believe everything happens for a reason. Obviously, I like to have those guys out there going, but, I've been able to see a different side of Jalen, without him being out there on the field. I think he's able to sit back and see and actually coach guys, help critique guys, and that's the part I'm able to see. And not only myself, but the other coaches are able to see, Jalen stepping up in a leadership role and understanding the whole scheme of the offense. So obviously I like him to be out there, but I think he's becoming more of a student of the game by just sitting back watching.
When Alvin has been out there, what kind of impressions he made on you this far?
Obviously, Alvin has a skill set, some things you can't coach, and that's what you want. I want to be able to go out and sign running backs that's got a skill set, and he comes in with one. He's a mature kid, hungry to be back here. So far, he's done a really good job making people miss in space, playing with great pad level, taking care of the football, showing he can catch the ball out of the backfield. Obviously there's some things in pass protection he has to continue to work on, but other than that, he's been a great teammate, and he's a guy that the other guys are starting to respect more.
With his speed, Jalen's size, just how well can those 2 guys complement each other?
Both of those kids can be as good as they want to be, and it all starts with the unselfishness that both of them have to display and that they've already displayed, and they realize that they can be as good as they want to be, but I think they understand they need each other to have the kind of seasons and careers and leave a legacy at Tennessee that some of the other tandems at Tennessee have left. So we talk about that all the time, and both of those guys understand that they need each other in order to have great careers here at Tennessee.
How much have you guys been able to experiment with those 2 guys in the backfield at the same time?
Not a lot, obviously, limiting those guys and, hadn't allowed us to really open up the playbook as much as we'd like to. But, those things will come during the summertime. And, we have some simple things, wrinkles that we can do and interchange guys, whether it's Pig, whether it's Alvin, whether it's, those guys. So we can interchange a lot of those guys in what we do. But we have not yet. But that's something that we always talk about, and we have written on our board for things that to come back to later.
I've got a statistical question for you. Do you think, as a running backs coach, is it fair that like a sack yardage comes off a rushing total?
You know what? I've never understood why a sack or a knee at the end of the game comes from a running back stat. That makes no sense. And I've been a part of places where at the end of games, the offensive line coach Amir is saying when you catch the ball, take a knee going forward. We don't want to lose those yards. But obviously, some smart guy who thought of the rules of football put it on the running game. But we'll take it. Good question.
How much has Jalen just embraced the idea of having Alvin, of having a guy like him?
You know what, man? I think at this level, in the SEC, you can't be afraid of competition. You can't be afraid to go somewhere where there's another guy. If you're a great program like University of Tennessee, there are going to be other guys that want to come here. And I think once you start to recruit guys like that, I understand that they want the competition, that they feed off of each other, that I'm going to be as good as my competition. I think that's when you know you have the right guy. And that's the kind of guy Jalen Hurd is. I think last year he saw that having a little bit more depth would have allowed him to stay healthy and have a better freshman year. So I think him seeing how Alvin is a competitor, a good football player, he's seeing that this is a guy that when I go out of the game, it's not going to drop as an offense. This guy's going to help us stay on the field and break some long runs and take a little of that pressure off of me. So he's been great so far.
Robert, it seems like Alvin has really kind of hit the ground running in terms of his off-the-field approach. Seems really driven to kind of make the most of his chances. Does that surprise you at all? Obviously, you guys knew what he had coming in on film.
It doesn't. And it all started with the recruiting process. From day one, Alvin and I had a really good man-to-man relationship. It was different than just recruiting an average high school kid. He had been through the recruiting process before. It wasn't about what kind of gloves you have or all those things that high school kids worry about. This is a kid who had been to a big-time program and just wanted to have a comfort level with his position coach, wanted someone to be honest with him, and that's what I gave him, and that's what I got a great feel for him as I recruited him, and it's been the same since he's been here. He's had a no-nonsense attitude. He's been great in the training room, great in the weight room. Yes, sir, no, sir, does everything you ask him to do. So not surprised at all that he's hit the ground running and developed a really good relationship with his teammates so far.